Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 4. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. It's time to head down to the honeymoon, but first we have to meet the families. Day 1 of marriage. So we see all the couples waking up together. David isn't used to not waking up in his childhood twin bed, so it's new for him. I'm just playing with you, David. I'm just playing. Listen, this is going to be a season where I am going to poke fun at David. Okay, it does not mean that I do not understand his situation. Okay, and it also does not mean that I would want to be with the man in his situation. But I'm just poking fun because I saw a lot of people getting sensitive, like, what's wrong with that? Because today's the... I get it. Everybody want to save a coin. I got it. But if you say you're going to take a wife, you need to take yourself out of your parents' basement. Apartment or no apartment. Madison and Alan. So they're laying in bed. It's the next morning. Alan went right on to the door to get the room service in them broccoli drawers. Alan, please. Okay. Put it away. Okay. Put it away. So they start talking about what they're excited about since they're married now. He said he's excited to get to know the day-to-day, see how they interact outside of the wedding and the honeymoon. So they started talking about Alan's relationship that he had previously because, it just ended. He said that he knew that it had to end and he went back to the therapist to work through it. But work through what exactly? See, I don't think y'all peeping what's going on. Alan is saying words, but there's so many things left unsaid. Ever since that reception, I've had questions. I'm wondering why she can't trust you to go down to the stoplight. I'm wondering why she can't trust you to go to the mailbox by yourself. I'm wondering why she's clocking your mileage on your car. Something is missing. Okay, something is just missing. But okay, if you've been to see the lady and the lady has told you that everything is okay, I guess. He said that he did used to live with his ex and she's never lived with a man before. So then they started talking about what they normally do on their day-to-day. And he told her that he normally doesn't take meetings on camera because he likes to walk around in his broccoli drawers. He likes to walk around like he's walking around right now. And you know what, Alan? That's right up my alley. Because I don't want to have to lay my wig. So let me tell you something. A no camera meeting is all right with me. I can't stand when people be like, okay, so we're going to have a Zoom. And I'm like, oh, not a Zoom, child. I am not in the mood for that. But, sometimes you got to lay your wig down and you got to get on camera. Carla and Juan. So, of course, it's breakfast time. Carla is doing nothing while Juan is getting everything together. So he's telling her that he doesn't drink coffee except on the weekends. He mostly does water and juice. So Carla says, oh, yeah, I do juice, too. He said, oh, you have a juicer. She said, no, I like to buy my juice. I buy it daily, because money is energy. OK, Carla is going to be a problem. And she also may be financially irresponsible. Carla does not believe that money even exists. Ma'am, and again, you cannot buy things with monopoly money. It's not real. OK. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Money is energy. If that's the damn case, then I should be rich. As long as I stay up all night long doing all these reviews, honey, got to be some energy somewhere. Moving forward. Thomas and Camille. So they're having breakfast and they're talking and he's asking if she's ever dated older. She said, yeah, I've dated a man like 41, but you know what? I like older men because they seem to know what they want. Camille, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. What man? And what age? Where the men at? Because, baby, these 42-year-old men that I know still behave like they're fresh out of homeroom. So I'm just trying to, if you know where they at, please point me in their direction. Not the older men seem to know what they want. Okay, girl. Camille gonna make sure to pour into chamomile tea if she don't do nothing else. Moving forward. David and Michelle. So he's coming back from the gym and they're talking about their lack of sleep. Baby, she was up all night thinking about that basement. Baby, she couldn't go to sleep. So then they started talking about their work schedules. Now he works nights and she works days for now. They're talking about how they'll be able to spend time with each other. He's like, well, we're just going to have to talk over the phone. Not talk over the phone. But y'all, when he mentioned the word shift, Her anxiety shifted into overtime. I said, oh my goodness, David, you are just making it worse and worse, honey. Not shift work. So they got a little room service, okay, because they have to eat the breakfast. So while he's digging in, she says, so do you think it's hard to date while living with your parents? Because I think it's unattractive. Well, damn. Can he eat his eggs first? Girl, what is wrong with you? Now, I guess at least she's letting them know, but girl, just hold on a second. It reminds me of last season where Becca and Austin would have the hard conversations over breakfast. Let me eat my eggs first, please. My God, today. So he's saying, I'm choosing to live there. It's not like I can't do it on my own. I've had my own place before. It's like a little apartment. Now, this is what tripped me out. She said, is there a kitchen down there? Ma'am. Oh, my goodness. She wants to know what is going down in the basement. He said, I'm very independent. All Michelle can think about is him rolling over in that basement. I do not think that she's going to be able to get over it. Until she sees where he actually lives and sees the setup, and hopefully they have a separate entrance and exit, she is not going to be happy. But Michelle, girl, it's really nothing we can do about it. The way that he's explaining it doesn't help either. He's on the third shift, smoking cigarettes on his break, and then he coming home to his mama's cooking. Baby, Michelle is pissed. Do y'all hear me? Baby, she pissed. Emem and Ikechi. So, of course, Emem is waking up, reminding him that they're married. Girl, take it easy. Oh, my goodness. She's like, yeah, and then, we're married. And he over there looking like, easy there, killer. Because, really, why do you keep saying you're married every 2 seconds? We get it. But side note, baby, you are just waking up. And when I say that skin is beautiful, baby, that skin is wake up flawless. I mean, she looks good. You look really good, girl. So anywho, that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So they're eating breakfast and they're talking. He's subtly telling her that he's not a morning person, so don't wake up with all that talking. And I feel that because I don't like a lot of talking in the AM. Please, everybody remain silent until I get my mind right. And I don't drink coffee, so it takes me a little longer to wake up and get myself together. There's no Folgers in my cup. I will have some tea, but even that, I just don't want you talking to me real early. So they're just sitting there and they're talking to each other, but they're really not saying anything. And I'm watching them and it's giving friends that went to college together and they crossed the boundary. And now she wants to be moved out of the friend zone and they have zero chemistry. That's what the two of them give me. Madison and Alan. So they're visiting each other's family and friends. Her family is asking how he felt meeting everyone. He said, I loved it. Ma'am. Okay, because her sister's makeup was really throwing me off. What is this foundation color you wearing? What is going on? I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but baby, it was giving recently deceased. Okay, I don't know what was happening, but baby, it was giving casket sharp. I ain't lying to you. So then her daddy just put it out there and said, y'all need to get tested before doing the hanky panky. Sir, mind your own business. Why are you all up in this man's my chart? What is wrong with you? Now, don't get me wrong. Dad, I understand because people be passing out things like mints. I get it, but it's uncomfortable. You don't need to talk to him about that. These are discussions that they need to have. These are necessary discussions, but not between you. Like, what are you talking about? And you know what's so funny? Because Kinetic is the same production company that does Love is Blind. And somebody told me, oh no, they test them for the STDs beforehand because I made a comment about Marissa and Ramses just ramming each other without protection. And somebody was just like, no, they're going to get, well, baby, right here, it's sounding like ain't no test being gave. Okay. And so the people need to make sure that their whatnots come back with them. Moving forward. So he's asking if he would have had a chance with her just walking down the street. Tell me why they all said no in unison. I said, what is happening? So then her sister gonna say, well, you know what? She likes pretty boys and you're like the opposite of that. Ma'am, your foundation is the opposite color of your damn skin. And what else is going on? Like, stop being mean. Do not be mean to Alan for no reason. Why would you even say that? And then he just sitting there and looking. I'm like, oh, baby, all y'all crazy. Because the way I would have went off on her, girl, if you don't hush. So over with his family, his mom is bawling her eyes out. Talking about just make sure that you rock him, that you love him, that you pet him. Ma'am, it's not his first damn day at daycare. He's going to be fine. Once you leave, he'll start smiling again. Baby, the way she was crying, make sure that you, ma'am, the way that these previews look, you need to get ready to take stock in Kleenex, okay? Because you gonna need it. Because it ain't gonna work, okay? It ain't gonna happen, Captain. But please stop all that crying, ma'am. He's a grown man. He decided to sign up for this and he's gonna be okay. So she told them that she wants to be optimistic, but they need to see if they're compatible. She don't like him. When I say she don't like him, she don't like him. And I feel like that's realistic to say. You know, her saying that they need to get to know each other. But this is married at first sight. What do y'all think y'all be signing up for? I really don't get it. She's like, yeah, I just want to get to know him, because technically we're still strangers. Girl, you just want to go out and find that pretty boy and you ain't fooling me. Emim and Ikechi. So he does not want to meet her people, especially after that cousin. He like, I do not want to meet these people. But they have to do it nonetheless. So they're meeting each other's families. She's telling his family that they were both exhausted and they went straight to bed. Let me tell you something. Don't ask me what I did last night on my first night of being a married woman. And I don't know you. I barely know him. And even if I did do whatever, I'm not going to disclose it to this man's mama. Say what now? Over with Ikechi, he's telling them that 12 years ago he was engaged, but he sabotaged it. And they both mutually decided that they were going to cut things off. He's like, yeah, and I kind of cut myself off from like relationships and things like that. But we mutually decided that it wasn't a go. So this is the thing. Your friends made it seem like you were the one that was cheated on and you were too broken up to move forward. So somebody lying. Did you not get involved with other women because you simply did not want to, or were you waiting to get on this here TV screen? Because somebody is not telling the truth, and I don't know who it is. Back over with Emim, his family is telling her, now this kind of threw me off. I don't know if this is his sister, his cousin, his friend. I don't know, because I don't think they put a title. They may have, but I didn't see it. So his family is telling her that he's an author and he's popping on social media. So she proceeds to say, so how are you going to handle it when people see him on the street? Ma'am? Ma'am. Respectfully, don't nobody know or care about no Ikechi. Otherwise, he wouldn't be on the show. Okay, we don't know him, ma'am. We don't know him. So then Emim says, well, he's going to make me feel secure. That's his job. And if he does that, then I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay right there. But I want to know, why is he single? So then the lady proceeds to say he's looking for a unicorn. I think he wants perfection. Well, he might as well go on, because you do not sign up for something like this if you're looking for perfection. This is a crapshoot. You are rolling the dice and hoping for a positive outcome. So I do not know why you would sign up for something like this. Moving forward. So then her family asked him, why did you apply for this show twice? Like, is it real? Do you really want a relationship? He gonna say, well, not to shade your question, but, this is a long process. Okay, it might be a long process, but the end game is you end up on TV. So did you sign up for this show so you can recite your little haiku? That's what we need to know. Did you want to recite your spoken word, or do you want to find a wife? Let us know quickly, Ikechi. Come on with it. He starts talking in circles about being a black man and being vulnerable and wanting to find love, but he didn't know how and he didn't know where. Okay, it's a lot of lies going on up and through. Because again, your family is over there acting like you have to fight them off with a stick. You just trying to be seen. Because if it's all that and the women are fawning all over you, I'm pretty sure you could have found a needle in a haystack. Michelle and David. Baby mama came with a notepad. Okay. David mama came with a notepad of questions. So she's asking Michelle, what are your pet peeves? She said, I don't like men that wear flip-flops. It's just somebody, honey. I don't know. I just don't like it. Shouldn't nothing be between your toes. I don't like it. So then she said, well, what do you think would be his? What would he say? His mom said, him not working out. And child, we know mama know. So Michelle is bringing up him living at home again. Because they're like, so what do you want to know? She brings up him living at home and telling her that he smokes cigarettes. She said, why do you think he told me that all at once? Ma'am, didn't you ask this woman this already? Now, we know that mama is ready with an answer about her baby. She told Michelle he's his own person. Okay, he's an independent person. He has his own apartment down there. He's not living off of us, and he can move out when he's ready to move out. So she said, well, I'm just overwhelmed and I just really don't know. Well, baby, what'd she say that for? This sister said, are you not sure? Child, I don't think so. His sister is worried Michelle isn't giving her all. Ma'am, it has been 16 hours. Anybody that claims they're getting all that news after knowing someone for 5 minutes isn't a lot of information, they're lying. I'm sorry, that's just not the truth. He is almost 40 years old. You want your man to be ready to step up as a husband. Now, single David that's not married, that's cool. You know, I'm just going to stop by for a little drive-by down in the basement and dip out the back before your mama and them wake up. That's fine. But if you say, I want to take a wife, then you should have your ducks in a row. Nobody is perfect, okay, at all. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, any woman on the street would be like, girl, I'm finna swipe left. Now I'm living in his mama's basement. Absolutely not. Moving forward. Now, his mom is not a fan of Michelle, I can just tell. But that's what you get, Michelle, for asking for a tall, light-skinned black man. You got David, his hair, his basement, his mama, and his cigarettes. That's what you get. And you know what, David? This is what you get for asking for your blonde hair and your blue eyes. Because your blonde hair and your blue eyes is asking you every damn 5 minutes when you're going to get out of that basement. Moving forward. So he's over there with her family. And he's talking about realizing that he's actually married. He said, I looked at my ring and I'm just like, whoa, I am actually married. Her sister said, so how do you think she feels about you? Girl, she freaking out. And if you were over there with them bridesmaids, then you would know that. He said, you know, I'm just getting certain vibes. I'm sure. Then David tells them that he lives in the basement. He might as well just wear one of them little billboards. You know those wearable billboards that you see people standing on the side of the corner for like the pawn shop and we buy gold. He might as well just wear I live in the basement because my goodness. So anyway, he's telling them that he lives in the basement and he's choosing to live there. So then her sister said, yeah, buddy, that's not going to work for her. He said she mentioned it to him that it may not work and that he's moving a little bit too fast with all the information that he's giving her. They're telling him to slow down. Do not dump everything on her all at once. They know that she cannot take too much information in too fast. This is the thing. David needs a person that's with family 24/7 like he is so that she can understand his family dynamic. She will love the fact that he lives in the basement and she will want to move down in the basement so they both can save money. And that mama will keep them there forever and raise the grandchildren in the basement as well. Probably build them a house out back. He needs a woman who understands that's his family dynamic. Because David can say whatever he wants to say about, yeah, and I'm ready to move out and I'm ready. Once you're in a comfortable position like that and he got his mama doing everything for him too, baby, he is not in a rush to go anywhere. So he needs a woman that understands that. That's sad, but I'm just saying. Carla and Juan. So she's meeting his parents and his friend, and she's asking, what makes him happy? Carla has no clue what's happening. Child, she just asking any old thing. His friend said, you know, he just appreciates small things and, you know, learning new things like he wanted to learn the guitar. So then Carla says, oh, yeah, you know, I talk to God a lot. And so I was asking God to give me someone that plays instruments and sings to me. And then that's what Juan did. Dad said, okay, Tinkerbell, how do you make your money? Baby, that daddy didn't care nothing about it. She said, well, I do hair. I'm a Pilates instructor and I'm a sound healer. His daddy said, so are you loving it? The way that I cackled, because that daddy just does not care about any of that. He's like, ma'am, where is your money? That's all I need to know. Where do you get your money from? Huh, Tinkerbell? Where do you get it? Ooh, child. So Carla told him, you know, well, I've been building businesses, but once we start having babies, like I really want to stay at home. Over with her family, her sister is asking, so what do you expect from Carla? Is she going to be able to stay home or not? Like, dang. Are you going to ask him any questions about himself? They didn't ask anything about Juan. The only thing that they cared about is whether or not she was going to be able to stay at home. So he's telling her sister, I need her to work because I have a startup. I'm not saying I need her to help take care of me, but I'm going to need her to contribute. So then her sister says, well, what happens when the app blows up? Can she stay at home then? Oh, baby, it's giving money hungry. He said, well, it just depends on what happens. The short answer is no. She gonna have to work. And I don't think she gonna want Juan because Juan is not gonna let her stay at the house. Back over with his family, His dad is telling her that they need to go 50-50. Daddy, you're overstepping your boundaries, honey. You need to let them come to that conclusion. You don't sit here and tell this woman she needs to pay 50% of stuff when they need to talk about it themselves. She's like, well, that's something we're going to have to decide because I might want to be a gypsy in the jungle and he might want a mansion. Girl, please be so for real. Please be so for real. She gives me Punky Brewster. I don't know if she's really here on earth or what is going on, Salil Moon Fry. Get yourself together. Thomas and Camille. So he's with her family. And when he was sitting with her family, I was just thinking, why does he look like he could be related to them? It's always a couple looking like they should be brother and sister. Shout out to Stasha and Nate. So anywho, he's sitting with her family. Her sister told him, when Camille gets upset, she goes on the defense. He said, well, that's going to be a problem because I go silent because I like to avoid conflict, but that builds up resentment. Okay, so that's not going to work because he's a little teapot. He keeps boiling until he pops his top and then steam comes out. That's not going to work. One of y'all are going to have to talk. The communication is going to be awful. So they're asking what makes him ready now. He said, he's had 4 years to work on himself and he's put in the work. And of course, all of them are saying the same thing. They don't want their people to get hurt. Her sister is saying she doesn't want her sister to get hurt. So she's asking, what have you done to ensure that she won't? He said, well, I feel like my other relationships were trial by fire. And what I've learned is to not keep your feelings to yourself, even though being vulnerable can sometimes be embarrassing because you don't know if you're going to be judged. You can't keep it to yourself. You have to let it out. Side note, I'm sorry, y'all. Thomas just looked so sleepy to me. I kept yawning and I was trying to get everything that he was saying, but I might have missed some things because I was just, girl, he is like melatonin. Do you? He is like melatonin. So her dad told him, I like what I'm seeing so far, but that's my baby. So I have my guard up and I'm watching you. Okay. I got my eye on you. I know that's right, honey. Me too, daddy. Especially after he talked about all that cheating and that therapy. I'm still not buying it. Moving forward. So Camille is meeting his family, talking about our core values are so much alike. We're like the same person, but the personalities are different. And I just feel like I'm going to need to bring him out of his shell. So then she asked if Thomas had any types of triggers. His brother said that he does not like criticism. I mean, who does? But okay, that might be a problem. You can't tell him nothing, child. His brother said that he's more of the aggressive type and Thomas is more receptive. Camille said, you know what? They would describe me the exact same way. Camille, girl, you would swear that you are Thomas's fraternal twin. Everything is me too. Same. I butter my biscuit like that. I walk on the left side of the street. My hair is black. I really want Camille and Thomas to be a great couple, but I think that Camille, along with Emem, they're so eager to want this to work that they're not living in reality. And then when it hits them, it's like, well, I didn't know that. Well, if you wouldn't have been sitting up here acting like y'all were twins, then you would have known it. Moving forward. So his sister-in-law asked how she would approach the red flags. She's like, what would you do if you saw, any potential red flags? His brother talked about how he eats with only, one thing at a time. He told her that already. And she said, I only eat one thing at a time. See what I'm saying? No matter what they tell her about Thomas, she is going to pretend that she is the female version. And why does it feel like these people are interviewing for a job? It's too much for me. I couldn't do this. I don't like answering a whole lot of questions. And some of these people are crossing boundaries. It's too much. It's too much. The mom is like, well, he wants kids, right? She said, me too. Okay. So they both want kids. His family thinks that she's going to be a great addition to the family. They're going to make a great couple, but they want to make sure that she protects his heart. Enough of the protection already. Let's get down to the honeymoons. Emem and Ikechi. So they meet back up and she's telling him what his people said, that he was looking for a unicorn or a perfect person. He starts talking about, well, Lego pieces are different sizes and they somehow fit. It's about finding somebody to fit you perfectly. It might be impossible to find, but it works. He said, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm someone's crown royal on ice. Ikechi always talking like one of those Dollar General greeting cards. Baby, I'm not buying none of it. Do you hear me when I say I'm not buying none of it? I'm not buying none of it. Honey, he doesn't like you. I'm just saying. It's in the way he looks at you. He's just going through the motions. You can tell a lot about a man, the way they touch you, the way they look at you, the way they sit up, the way they perk up when they see you enter a room. It's giving nothing. And I'm sorry, but it just is. David and Michelle. So they meet back up and he's telling her that they told him that he's going too fast with all of the information, but he's willing to slow down. He just want to get to know you. Child, he's trying to slow down so he can get to know you. She's asking, have you had a meltdown yet? He said, well, I kind of did in the mirror this morning when I looked at my ring and realized I was married. So then she starts telling him, yeah, because at the wedding, I cried like 10 times. You were saying how happy you were. And I was just like, oh my God, he lives in the basement. Michelle, girl, I feel like you're telling him all this so that you can get him to stop liking you and push him away. It's working. He starts talking about him telling them that he lives at home. She said, are you embarrassed by that? No, you're embarrassed by that. He ain't embarrassed, child. He'll tell any old body. Child, if I invite him over here, he'll start telling me. He says, well, I'm kind of embarrassed because of the stigma of it, but I don't want you to worry. Now, he did say that he does want to leave the basement, y'all. He wants to go. He keeps saying, I don't want you to focus on it. She said, oh, but I'm focused on it. He said, don't make it a big deal. She said, oh, but it is a big deal. David, please. Oh, child, please, honey, you and your bun. She is focused on it. Okay, ponytail? She is focused on it. And David, the reassurance is not reassuring. Okay, but Michelle, I'm speaking directly to you, honey, now, because you're starting to get on my nerves. Either accept it or make today your decision day. I don't want to keep hearing this for 79 episodes. I don't want to hear it, or I'm going to start skipping you. Alan and Madison. So they're meeting back up, and he's telling her that her dad was all up in his my chart trying to get the STD test of it all. And she's telling him that his family said that he's loving and caring. Now, she made it clear we're husband and wife, but we are getting to know each other. So he's asking her if she's physically attracted to him. She says, I mean, it's different, not in a bad way. Well, girl, what other way is it? And Alan, if you're confused, the answer is no. Okay? No. So he said, well, I want to know, what is a pretty boy? Think Juan. If you're thinking pretty boy, think about Juan. She says, well, the attraction is there. Girl, it's giving lie. She likes that he's nice, but she doesn't like him. And that's just that on that. So they get home and find out that they're ready for Mexico, and they heading on down to Mexico. Carla talking about, I manifested this. Girl, please. They always default to Mexico. Anytime they ain't got nowhere else to go, they go down to Mexico. So they're all packing, and Emem keeps mentioning that they're married every 2 seconds, and he's just sitting there and looking. So they're all meeting the couples for the first time. Everybody gets in a sprinter because they're getting ready to get to the airport. Now, I'm watching the reactions to see who the cheater is, because remember, this is a game of Clue. And I picked up on some clues, and we're going to get down to it as soon as we get to Mexico. Now, it's always one. Here go Michelle. Why is everybody touching each other? Like, we just met these people. Oh, child. Baby, they are touching each other because their men live on the top floor of their own place. I'm just telling you, that's the only reason why they touching. So, baby, they get into the airplane. They're in Mexico. Okay, they're down in Mexico. Y'all, when they got down to Mexico, did y'all see how Madison looked at Juan? I'm watching them. And I also saw how she looked at David. And didn't I tell y'all on that last review that I felt like it might be Madison and David? And then I watched them on the after party. Not to actually watch the after party, but to see the body language. And she seemed like she had an attitude when he started talking about Michelle. And baby, they ain't fooling me. So I don't know who it's going to be, but we soon shall see, child. Now, Madison did this little Dr. Seuss toast about breathing, squirming, teasing, loving, breathing. I don't know, child. It was rhyming. And then they took a toast and they drank it up. So they go into the lobby and they're all sitting around. And Carla said, so what do you guys think about the people you're matched with? So Thomas said that he already feels safe with Camille, and he feels like she's someone that he could be vulnerable with. And he's never believed in love at first sight before, but now he does. Here go Ikechi, always trying to one-up somebody. And I noticed this. He's being very performative, talking about, well, I just like everything about her. Anyway, Ikechi has turned on vacation mode. You know how Crocs have sport mode? He's landed on thick. Because you start feeling a certain way when you're on a vacation. He ain't look at that lady twice in that hotel. Do you hear me? And all of a sudden, he can't wait. So then Madison is telling the group that she has anxiety thinking about how real it just got. Madison, girl, don't piss me off. Now, you should have stayed sober at that reception so you could tell who you were married to. I knew then you wasn't paying attention. Poor Alan. So Michelle is leaning so damn far away from David. She leaning all the way on the other side of that bun. I said, baby, she don't want nothing to do with it. It's going to be a long season. So then David starts saying Pastor Calvin told him that, they may match him with someone who will help him open up another side. Well, child, that's for sure. She's talking about, I'm just used to being alone. I'm used to doing everything by myself. Well, girl, you will soon be alone again. Okay? You're going to be right back over there in just a few. So everybody is talking about how Emim and Ikechi have this chemistry. Because he's like, I can't wait to duck off. I can't wait to get a little alone time. Child, this is manufactured chemistry, okay? If anything, it's courtesy of Emim reminding him every 2 seconds that he's married. And if anything else, he just wants some vacation sex. But as far as a marriage, child, the truth ain't in it, okay? I ain't buying nothing he's selling, including that haiku book full of poems. Moving forward. Now, I kind of forgot that Juan and Carla were there, but they were talking with some sense. Juan said that he's open to anything and he wants to have fun. He said they all need to focus on learning each other and have fun with it. Because y'all could be up today and down tomorrow. Ikechi over there pretending today, but it could be y'all pretending tomorrow. So, I feel like you just never know. Now, I just hope it doesn't turn into the men versus the women, because that's what they like to do. In the next scene, it's the next morning, and Juan is playing music on his phone. No, sir. I do not like noise as soon as I wake up. I don't even wake up to an alarm. When I say I want quiet, I have to sit on the edge of my bed and contemplate. Okay, what is life? I can't do no noise in the morning. Hell no. She said, yeah, the music comes on at 7:30 a.m. Today is my decision day. Baby, the way I would say no, I would like to call Pastor Calvin and Dr. Peppers, please. And you can also get Dr. Pia on the line. I would like to say no to him in this damn phone with this music every morning. Absolutely not. Michelle and David. So Michelle is up for another day of complaining. Hey, girl. And his alarm is going off. She's pissed because why didn't you set your alarm to shut the hell up? Because you are not going to your shift. So your alarm should not be a ringing. He's telling her that he's going to fix it. I got to adjust it. My bad. He said, so you noticed that I wasn't in the bed last night, right? Now, baby, this way it gets good. He said that he was out till 1 a.m., had 6 tacos, came back inside and crashed on the couch. Now, she's mad because he crashed on the couch. Ma'am, you don't even like him. You mad because he in the basement? You're mad because he on the couch? What do you want him to be? What do you want him to be? And David, to you, who else was down there at 1 a.m.? And why would you be down somewhere at 1 a.m. without your wife the first night of a honeymoon? It's looking like a lie. It's looking like a lie. So they're talking, and this lady brings up that basement again. She goes, well, who chooses to live at home at 36? Your mom does everything for you. That's like a turnoff. Okay, let's just get down to this. Now, the first 6 times that you mentioned it, okay, I get it, girl. It's a shock. It's a shock to your system. I get it. But what answer are you looking for? Because it's not changing. What do you want him to say? Help me to help you. What do you want him to say, Michelle? Huh? What do you want him to say? Emim and Ikechi. So they're sitting out by the pool and she's telling him that she eats everything. She said, you don't like liver? He said, no. What about gizzards and chitlins? He said, no, I don't even eat meat. Why would I eat that? Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I do love me some liver and onions. I don't care what nobody say, honey. Call me old, call me country, call me whatever you want to, but don't say it to my face. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I like liver. So he starts asking her if she's ever been engaged. Now, this is what tripped me out. He prefaced this by saying that one of his biggest pet peeves is an ignorant person, a person who doesn't want to learn any more than they already know. So then he says, have you ever been engaged? Sir, what does this question have to do with ignorance? She says, well, I was, but he cheated. So then Ikechi tells her that he too was engaged 12 years ago and he cheated on her, but he's grown. Okay. Y'all, we have another pick me alert because she gonna get in her confessional and say, Yeah, I oftentimes ignore the red flags. Every time we hear someone say they ignore the red flags, they're doomed. And ma'am, he just sat up here and told you that he cheated, but you were present when his friends told you that she cheated. Are you here? Girl, why do I have to speak and think for you? Come on now, Imam, girl. You are a nurse practitioner. Get it together or leave it alone. Madison and Alan. So they go to dinner. Madison, where were you last night at 1 a.m., honey? Because I'm investigating and interrogating everybody. That's what I want to know. So she's sitting down with Alan and she's apologizing for being weird, but she explains that she was anxious. He wants to know if something triggered that. She said, well, when, I was by myself, it just hit me, but I want to have fun with you. Fun? Alan, this lady was drinking at the reception and now she's realizing that you aren't her physical type. She had on beer goggles, tequila goggles, whatever kind of goggles that the alcohol come with, she had them on. He told her, well, I don't even want to give you any more anxiety. I'm fearful to even hold your hand. He wants to know, how can I help you? I said, oh, Alan. She said, well, I don't want you walking on eggshells and tiptoeing around me. Like, you can touch the small of my back. You can touch my hand. She's like, I'm trying. What did y'all think this was going to be? Huh, Madison? What did you think? You keep saying it's a lot. This is just a lot. Girl, the application process was a lot as well. Lady Kate, you tell it. That still does not mean that you did not know what you signed up for. Y'all shouldn't go on shows like this if you know you have a physical type and you're not able to get over that hurdle. That is just something that's selfish and it's downright crazy. Please stop wasting time and taking up space that someone else can have. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Baby, let me tell you something. This season is heating up. And when the next episodes come on, we know it's going to be a doozy because now we're at the honeymoon and now the mask, they slowly drop. And the way those previews are looking, these people are going to be in for a wild ride. Honey, we're going to be right there with them. Y'all going to start meeting me on Thursdays so we can get into the lives. Comment down below and I'm going to comment back. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.